And this is it, guys. The conclusion of the disaster known as Pokemon Go Fest. Everyone in attendance has received a refund for their ticket, $100 in Pokecoins, as well as a free Lugia. So Niantic had to accept that the issues with the server were so bad that instead of doing the legendary event, everyone there just gets the Lugia just like that, and then other events are activated as well. Pokemon Go Fest Pokestop egg drops will last until Monday morning for attendees. Also, all Go Fest bonuses will be active for 24 hours because Silver has been unlocked. Also, the first phase succeeds, allowing Pokemon Go players to face Lugia. However, Lugia was just given to everyone instead and will be activated worldwide in raid battles within the next 48 hours. So at least Lugia makes it to the world for everyone when it comes to raid battles in Pokemon Go. And also, due to the success of Team Mystic in Go Fest, Articuno is the next legendary Pokemon to be released. So Pokemon Go Fest is not releasing all of the legendary Pokemon, which has some players also a little bit upset because this was going to be the reveal of legendaries, but it looks like legendaries are going to have a staggered rollout, much like the other generations in Pokemon Go, as well as the second generation, and just kind of delaying the content even further, which people are not that okay with. And then from Niantic, still no update, which I find weird. Like, the Pokemon Go app should be tweeting out all of this stuff, like everyone gets a Lugia. You know, the last thing they said is connectivity issues, even though Pokemon Go Fest has pretty much concluded at this point. And I was just like kind of looking at some of the other things. So when you look at the Pokemon Go Fest hashtag, people are not happy with it. Breaking news, Chicago Fest attendees get a Lugia on their Pokedex free without any efforts. Unfair. Pokemon Go Fest. But then also there's people that are excited, even though I don't understand how anyone could really be excited about this. Cannot contain my excitement. Lugia and Articuno are coming to Pokemon Go. Hype, hype, hype. And then tweeting out pictures of the stream kind of announcing this. Well, one, it was a predetermined outcome. Like, this was known from the beginning, or at least there were suspicions at the beginning, and then it became more and more obvious as the day went on. That I just did a recent video talking about how Niantic was actually changing the thresholds live and actively to make sure that gold would be reached worldwide regardless of who participated, as well as all the challenges at the event being reached as well. That's not okay. And I also got comments on the video. There were actually comments of people saying that I should not be mad at Niantic for lying to their audience about the entire situation. Is it just me? Or am I crazy that using a lie to fix a huge problem is not the best idea, and also should not be something that goes without criticism? Also technically lying to the millions of players playing Pokemon Go around the world. I think that one better way of accepting the responsibility, because like, cool, Niantic made people feel better. They gave them a lot in return, such as Lugia, the legendary unlocks regardless of the performance, but they should be saying this to them. They should have gone on stage and be like, look, we know there's problems, we know everyone's upset, we know that we're not going to reach the goal. Here, we're just going to give you Lugia instead. Like, they shouldn't have put so much on the line, and that's why I knew this was a predetermined outcome, because like I said right here, if the trainers in Chicago succeed in defeating the legendary Pokemon, that Pokemon will start appearing in raid battles around the world after Pokemon Go Fest. Also, if they manage to catch enough Pokemon, that will trigger the first legendary Pokemon in the world. That so much could go wrong here that they even wrote their own script to change the numbers, and then they got caught doing it. That if the event didn't go bad, like if everyone was able to play naturally, probably wouldn't have never guessed it. Like, alright, they might have had a low score cap, they know how many people are going to be playing. Also, they had increased spawns throughout the area, so people were catching Pokemon like mad whenever they did have any cellular service. Also, there's so many people around the world, you can never guess how many people are actually going to be participating. Therefore, oh, surprise, we actually hit gold sooner than we expected. I think it also gets really sketchy, especially if you make it like a last-second thing, like, are we going to hit it? Are we going to get the legendary Pokemon? Big countdown, are we going to make it to the finish? Building up suspense with something such high stakes just kind of shows that there's something fishy going on, and I think that kind of seals the deal. But when it came to the trailer, we had all of the legendary bird trio revealed as well. That is Zapdos, Articuno, and Moltres, as well as Lugia and Ho-Oh. Well, Ho-Oh doesn't make it in, and also since they gave it to Team Mystic has historically had the most numbers anyways, so naturally they're just going to catch more Pokemon, which means Articuno is going to be the Pokemon that everyone gets anyways. So they didn't even release like a multiple amount of legendaries. They didn't say all of them will be revealed. They still staggered the legendary announcement, which kind of makes it like not feel as great. But I mean, at least we got one of the big legendaries like Lugia, and I don't know if people should be as excited for it as all, because one, we already knew it was going to happen, two, it was going to happen. So it's going to happen as a conclusion for the event, but also they have to release legendaries at some point, so it's like, cool, legendary Pokemon are now available. They're going to be some rare drop in a raid, and I don't know if people are going to care about Pokemon Go anymore. I feel Pokemon Go Fest went so wrong that it just kind of made all the problems of Niantic come back. Any hope for Niantic to kind of recover from the PR fiasco of the entirety of the last year has been trashed with this, because it's the same thing. What killed Pokemon Go on its first couple of weeks? That this was the largest game in the world. Over 100 million people downloaded the game, and it faded into obscurity because Niantic had server problems and the game was being really buggy. What happened at Pokemon Go Fest? The game had server problems and was really buggy. So even a year later, they couldn't fix their stuff for the biggest event, and there's really not much you can do. Like, there's nothing, and there's really nothing you can say to defend them at this point, honestly. That they, like, what they should have done, they underestimated it in the beginning. I've already talked about this in my other videos. They underestimated Pokemon Go in the beginning, they admitted to underestimating it, and then they underestimated Pokemon Go Fest. It's possible to get around this, but they did not put the resources into it once again, and then there were still problems. They didn't even try to do, like, a test or anything, and that's really bad. They should have had, like, a mini Pokemon Go Fest or some kind of larger get-together in Chicago, and now people are just really upset. I have worked from the first day Pokemon Go came out to get everything I have. They get a Lugia, real unfair to the true players, and then people are just talking about, like, our things Niantic gave people free Lugias doesn't make the problem go away. So people really aren't buying the whole Lugia thing. You know, everyone physically attended gets Lugia added to their account. What about the rest of us? Participation trophy, lame. And the memes just kind of go on forever. But it does make sense, because only 20,000 people were allowed to get that. So even if you wanted to go, there's many people that live inside of Chicago that wanted to attend the event that the tickets sold out too fast. They were not allowed to get tickets to go to Pokemon Go Fest. So they can't even get Lugia for an event that they wanted to attend in their home city, as well as anyone else that would have flown out there, anyone else who wanted to do it. Also, what about people outside of Pokemon Go Fest? You know, there could have been multiple events throughout the country, giving people more opportunities. So the attendance cap, everything just kind of makes it, sure, you help out the people that were there, and they definitely deserve it. Don't get me wrong. They deserve it, but it also burns the rest of the fan base, and when you look at it, there was really no one could have won when it came to Pokemon Go Fest. That, looking at the rules, you couldn't bring cameras, couldn't bring umbrellas. I heard it started raining for a bit. The weather was looking bad. Everything went wrong. The organization was pitiful. People were still, and that's another thing. So sure, let's forgive Niantic for completely failing on the servers. That does not forgive the over 3 hours of wait in line. It shows there were many other issues inside of the event other than just connectivity stuff. That's not good. And then it just keeps getting worse from there. So there we go, guys. That is the conclusion of Pokemon Go Fest as we know it. I don't really think anything could have, there's really much else to talk about on it. Even the webmaster of Cerebi. I have been running Cerebi for almost 18 years, and Go Fest is unfortunately the worst and most painful thing I've had to cover. This Pokemon Go Fest seems to be the worst disaster for the Pokemon community in the history of Pokemon. And I'm worried that even though it's just Pokemon Go, it trickles down to everything, even into Pokemon. It's really ironic in a way that Pokemon Go was actually one of the things that helped revive Pokemon. That Sun and Moon, Pokemon Sun and Moon, the actual video games of the 7th generation, have had some of the highest sales ever and beat out any of the other games on the 3DS. I think it also beats out like Black, White. I think the only things that beat it are like games that are much older. Like Pokemon Red and Blue have sold over 30 million copies worldwide, and I think Pokemon Sun and Moon is up to like 15 million almost, or something. Either way, Pokemon Go brought back Pokemon as a game, as a community, as everything. That the Google search trends went way up. Pokemon Go was searched higher than Jesus, was one of the jokes going around, because it was literally one of the most searched things ever out there, and it really brought a lot of people back. It brought Pokemon back into relevance. But then Niantic failed with it, and then it kind of faded into obscurity, and then the Pokemon community kind of went out with that tide as well. And even looking at, you know, some of the fans that came back and they rediscovered their love of Pokemon, which was absolutely great. And then we get to events like this, where now the negativity towards Pokemon and Pokemon Go, it's already bad enough with like car wrecks and theft and like people stealing other phones and stuff, but now this is going to be hard, and we're going to see how it goes, and that's just how it is. Really hate being negative and try to find the good in everything. That's why some people think I'm a fanboy or a shill, but there is no good here, even coming from Joe Merrick. It's nice that they gave everyone Lugia, but this is the state of Pokemon Go right now. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.